Hello, I'm keeping a close watch on you.